Look, moving too bossy, we don't tread softly, but not flossy, the streets.
Well, I had said that I wasn't going to talk too much about MarquesHouston anymore because that whole story, MarquesHouston, Chris Stokes, and all them, is just a strange, cult-like, the whole thing is just weird, okay? It's just weird. And so we talked about Chris Stokes and MarquesHouston and B2K and all of the issues back in the day. And, you know, we've just kind of gotten past those stories. But one story that continues to rear its ugly head is MarquesHouston and his marriage to the very young Maya Dickey. Okay. Well, now she is Maya Houston. They have been married for about 3 years now. They married back when she was 19 years old. And now they have a little girl. I think her name is Zara. Yeah, a little girl named Zara. Cute little girl. The wife is beautiful, okay? But 19 when they got married, you guys, like I know, and MarquesHouston is my age. He's around my age. And I can't even imagine me as a grown-ass 50-year-old woman, you know, even being able to relate with somebody that's 18, 19 years old, not, especially not on an intimate level to the point where I feel like I'm going to marry them. Like, I don't even understand that way of thinking. But yeah, the story continues to come up. I don't know who MarquesHouston was talking to, but he was in an interview recently and he kind of just brought this up on his own. And he said how a lot of people don't understand him and Maya's relationship, you know, but he enlightened us and said that they met when she was 17 years old through a mutual friend, is the story that he gave, a mutual friend. And then when she turned 18, I guess that's when they started dating and got engaged. And then 19 years old, they got married. Okay. Now, those of us who have kind of looked deeper into the story, have found out that Maya is actually Mayana Juanita Pinckney. And she was reported missing back in 2016. Okay. They said that 2016, she was reported missing, even though in 2012, she ran away from her home in Oregon and ran away to California, and that she was living actually with her grandmother in LA, I believe. Okay. Since 2012, they didn't report her missing until 2016. And I am going to assume that is when she came into contact with Chris Stokes and his family. All right. She ended up becoming best friends with Chris Stokes' daughter, who was around the same age. And this is what the internet streets are saying. They're saying that she was around and Chris Stokes used to actually call the girl his daughter. You know, he had a daughter and then he would call this girl also his daughter because they were just so close. Now, where the story don't make no sense is we already know how close MarquesHouston is to Chris Stokes, and that they all are Jehovah's Witnesses, and that they all very much are active in the religion and all of that. And so you mean to tell me, as close as you are to Chris Stokes, that this girl who's best friends with Chris Stokes' daughter, who's been around since she was 15, maybe even before that, we don't even know that for a fact, okay? But she was friends with the girl, and you being best friends with Chris Stokes, you mean to tell me that you didn't know anything about this girl until she was 17, and even still, when you met her at 17, you didn't have no attraction for her until she turned 18, you know? So that's where everybody has the problem. He allegedly, like Alex said, allegedly, he didn't have any feelings for this girl until she was of legal age. And then they started dating, and then, you know, right after that, she turned 19 and they got married. Okay. To the person with the common sense, that doesn't make any sense. While it could very much be true, I think that most people believe that he knew that girl at least from when she was 15, and if he wasn't in a relationship with her, he was definitely eyeing her. Like I said, she is a beautiful girl. And, you know, when you have an older man and this young girl who's very, very much impressionable, and, you know, you kind of groom them to be a certain way, you get them all ready for when they finally are legal, and then you marry them. Like right now, the story don't even matter, because they got married when she was legal, even though she was very young, and now they're married and they seem to be happy and they got a beautiful baby and all of that. So now the story don't matter. But the thing is, you gotta know that if he was even involved with this girl at 17 years old, that's like predatory. That is grooming. You know, you are getting this girl ready. And who's to say that they weren't already active? I mean, I would think so. But, you know, he was very careful, because I used to go back years ago and look at his social media. And a lot of the pictures have been removed and taken and put back up and all of this. But at one point, I remember used to seeing her on Chris Stokes' Instagram like pretty often. You know, because they're all about family. It's like, it's so weird, you guys. It's like so odd. But, you know, it's like all family, and in the religion, like I said, they're very active in, and, you know, all of it it just feels, not saying that Jehovah's Witness is cult-like, but I'm saying that their thing that they have all feels very cult-like. And I just choose to believe that he was involved with that girl before she turned 18. Okay. And that they were careful to try to get rid of some of the proof that she was around before that. Okay. There was a lot of talk about her name being on the credits for a movie that was produced by Chris Stokes back in like 2015 or something like that. And Marcus explained that actually was added by somebody, because apparently on IMDb, you are able to, anybody can manipulate that. It's sort of like Wikipedia. Okay. So that may be true. Maybe she wasn't really on that movie. But I still feel like she probably has been around longer than when she was 17. Okay. Or that MarquesHouston is saying that he met her. Which is just, but all of that is weird. All of them over there. If you just go down the rabbit hole, because if you go on Google, you gonna find out a whole lot. Okay. But you read up on some of them stories, and then we already know that the shit with Chris Stokes, just all of the other stories that we've heard about him, it don't feel too off. You know, that it couldn't have happened that way, you know? So, I don't know. But, yeah, the MarquesHouston doing that interview, I was just like, why he even want to even talk about it? If I was his wife, I would be pissed. Like, we already got through this. We done already passed this. We got a beautiful family now. Like, why are you even bringing this shit up again? You know? And then he got caught by the TMZ reporters out on the streets somewhere, and the nigga doubled down. I mean, I was just like, I guess, you know, but he was just like, people don't understand, you know, he connected with her on a spiritual level. And I was just like, what grown ass man even allows himself to connect with a child like that and then turn that into an intimate relationship? That is so, do you understand how that is, y'all? It's something. Anyway, yeah, that's the story though on Marcus and Maya. What do you guys think about that? Does that bother you about a person, or do you feel like, well, they grown, everybody grown now, moving on with their life? I mean, they are grown and moving with their life now. I mean, that girl is still young, 22. She's the same age as Jada. Jada ain't ready to be married. It definitely ain't ready to be married to no 50-fucking-year-old man. I ain't no. Oh my God, Mister would have a fucking fit. Okay, he would fight that man. Like, no, I just, Y'all let me know what you think about all that story. But yeah, MarquesHouston said that's his girl, y'all. That's his soul mate.
Taught me, but we're too bossy, we don't tread softly, but not flossy,
All right, you guys, next story up. Since we're talking about predatory behavior, I'm sure you guys saw the text messages that have leaked from between Azriel, is that how you say her name? Azriel Clary and her mother. And child, if you see these text messages, now these text messages were the text messages that were submitted in court. So assuming that these are the correct text messages that were submitted in court, that means that the court has already vetted these text messages and determined that they were true text messages that actually happened, that they were not created by an outside party trying to make R. Kelly, the mother, the girl, Azriel, anybody look any worse. Okay, so let's just establish that at the beginning. But these text messages have leaked between Azriel and her mother. And you guys remember, we all had a little issue with Azriel Clary's mother from the beginning when we saw the Surviving R. Kelly documentaries. And remember, the parents kind of seemed like they were involved in getting their children, kind of giving their children over to R. Kelly because they were so intent on having, their child having a music career, and they wanted R. Kelly to be the one to do it because R. Kelly back in the day was like the man. Okay. So the text messages, you guys, I mean, you just have to read them. But it's basically the mother telling Azriel how she needs to be. You need to entice him. You need to sing on his lap. You need to, dance for him, and get him to really like you. All right. Take off those glasses. They make you look too old, take off all that makeup and shit, cause he likes young girls. And, it's just like, and they get worse than that. At one point, the mom finally says he doesn't even want to have he doesn't even want to be in control of your singing career. He just wants to fuck you. Okay, so what he gonna do is he gonna fly you to Chicago or fly you to wherever, and he's probably gonna make sure that you have sex with him and tell you that he's not gonna send you back unless you do. And I mean, when you see the text messages, and she's actually having a conversation with the daughter, kind of telling her how she needs to be in order to become one of R. Kelly's concubines, like a part of the thing. It was crazy reading those messages, because I was just like, now the first part where the mom was telling her how she needed to be, I could see, like, sometimes people just be so hungry, so money hungry and so power hungry and things for a career, that this mother could have been telling her daughter, like, just, make him think that he can get this from you. And so you got to be sexy and you got to act like a child because that's what he likes and all that. That's one thing. But then when it got to the point where the mother was saying, girl, he just want to fuck you. So why don't you just kind of like play the part and, you can be a part of his harem. And I was just like, what mother says this? Craziness, you guys. And so now everybody is just like, oh, the parents need to go to jail too. And I was just like, yeah, I mean, in a perfect world, the parents would have gone to jail for saying shit like that, but it's not against the law to be a bad parent. It's just not. You would think that the fact that child was underage, that that would be more on the parent, and that the mother would actually be in trouble for that, but apparently not. And R. Kelly, in his defense, has always said, like, he said that he was not forcing anybody to do, he wasn't kidnapping Azriel and that other one, that they wanted to be there. And then when you see those text messages, you kind of just like, yeah, he didn't have them against their wishes. He didn't. I mean, we already knew with the other one, but the Azriel one was always the one that was a little iffy. Not really sure, if she was there from force or if she really truly wanted to be there, or she ended up getting brainwashed later on. But now we see that this was a part of the plan from the very beginning, you guys. And these text messages apparently are messages that they, in his appeal, that they're going to be using those text messages as well. Now we have the Clary, the mother, her oldest child is out speaking how those text messages are not real, and there's no way that her mother would have, basically sold the sister out like that. And all I can say to that is, I mean, those are the text messages from court. They happened, And so the mother that you had is a little bit different than the mother that Azriel had. You're 30 years old, you're the oldest child or whatever. Maybe the relationship, the mom didn't see it in you to offer you up to R. Kelly. You probably can't sing or whatever, but it's sickening though. It is sickening. I know that mother got to be embarrassed though, because those text messages are awful. It sounds like some shit that two homegirls are saying between each other, that's fixing to like try to scam a nigga or something. Like, girl, just play the part just so you can get in the house. And I mean, that's how bad those text messages sound. Did you guys read them? Y'all should go on and read them. And then you guys let me know, do you think that they're real? Do you think that that was the mother that was actually trying to groom her daughter to serve her up to R. Kelly? Y'all leave all that below.
The streets that taught me I'm just trying to get my nigga paid. We came from Section 8. All
right, you guys, next story up. So this Reginae and this Armon Wiggins boy. I'm sorry. That's not his last name, huh? Is there an Armon Wiggins though? I feel like that name, why that name just coming so quickly to my mouth, you guys? It's Armon Warren, I believe is the young man's name. Okay. Now, you guys know who Reginae is. Reginae is the daughter of Lil Wayne and Toya from here in Atlanta. All right. And we've known Reginae since she was a little girl. She actually went to school with Joseph. I remember her having a party in their elementary class. And, she brought the little Mardi Gras cake where you pull the little things out and the toys come out of the cake. And Joe was just so amazed. He just couldn't believe it, and I remember seeing Toya. I mean, that was way back when they were in elementary school right over here, by the house. But she's grown to become a very pretty young girl. And we've been involved in a relationship, child. We knew when she was in a relationship with the YFN Lucci boy, who is currently in jail for murder. And wrapped all up in the beef between YFN Lucci, his gang, and the YSL with Young Thug and they say it's not a gang, they say that it's a record label. But all of that shit that's been going on out here in Atlanta. She ended up breaking up with YFN Lucci. And then we saw that her and this Armon Warren guy, I think that he was a YouTuber, is that correct? Or a TikToker or something like that. He already had a social media presence. And somehow they ended up together. I'm not sure if even it was from YouTube or from people watching and saying, oh, you guys should hook up, because they were close in age. I think she's actually older than him. I don't know from how much, but I believe that she's older than him. But anyway, they ended up hooking up together back in September. They became an item. Okay. And because he already had a social media presence, then so she kind of was in his social media presence as well. And of course, she also had a social media presence. And so the two of them together would showcase their relationship on social media. And I mean, you guys already know where the story is going, right? Honey, the social media is, child, the more you showcase how happy you are in a relationship, the more miserable people is going to come at you. It's like, if you're going to put your relationship out there, if it's like an intentional thing, then you have to be prepared for all the negative that comes with it. Or you take your relationship off of social media. If you want, you can splash it on there every once and again, just so people know that the nigga's still there and everything. But probably it's a best idea is to keep your relationship off of social media, unless you can handle all of everybody that's in your business. Okay. Young 25-year-old, it's hard to be able to handle many people all in your relationship like this. You're trying to establish getting to know each other and enjoy each other, and you feel like you have to be on social media also defending the relationship. That's just too much. And because she's Reginae, you know, a lot of people have weighed in on her relationship, and then she wants to turn around and respond to those people. And so then when you respond to them, you give them the attention that they want. So then they continue to be on it, you know, and she might say something smart to somebody, or maybe even pick a nerve, you know, cause she was like, all you aunties that got niggas out there wasting your time, you know, why don't you go find you somebody that's good for you, you know, kind of like I did. And, you know, people don't want to hear that kind of shit. Yeah, even if it's true, you know. So those kind of the things that like brings way more attention on your relationship, and that's a lot for anybody to be able to withstand. You know, when they got to their 6-month anniversary, the boy gave her a promise ring, and I thought it was adorable. Like, I was just like, this is really sweet. Like, she went from a nigga that's going around shooting folks at McDonald's to being with this young man who respects her enough to say, I'm not ready to get married now, but I honestly, you know, want to have you in my future, and I want you to know that I'm not just playing. Let me get my shit together, and then we can, you know, upgrade this to an engagement ring and upgrade that to a wedding ring, you know, eventually. But so I thought it was precious, but you know, first of all, people was clowning her about the promise ring, like how ridiculous the promise ring was. I didn't see anything wrong with it, but other people were saying like, girl, he don't want to marry you. And blah. I mean, it was just a whole lot, you know, and she was having to defend that. And I was just like, girl, get off of social media. If you want to be with this man, you know, we can understand that you're happy. Like I said, you can post a picture here and there, but you know, I know it's probably harder because I think he was already a YouTuber, a TikToker. So, you know, he's not going to get rid of his career. But what I was saying is like, they needed to take the showcase off of focusing on their relationship. So yeah, people are going on and on. She's arguing back and forth with the people. I didn't really see him do too much, but I saw her doing a lot. Most recently, but you know, during all of that, they still stayed together. Now, most recently, Ricky Smiley, the Ricky Smiley show, you know, they have a segment where they talk about gossip like everybody else. And they had a segment where they were talking about her injuring her hand on a movie set, and how some people were trying to say that it was because of her boyfriend, and how she was like, absolutely, that's not what happened. And she hurt her hand on the set. Okay, so she had cleared it up, and that was on the Ricky Smiley, like a recording of her talking about what happened on the movie set. Well, somehow it got back to Reginae that Ricky Smiley and them had a segment on his show saying that the boyfriend had abused her. Okay, she hadn't heard the segment. She just got some information from somebody that's what it was. So her boyfriend, upset that he's been, you know, keyed or coined a damn abuser, he goes on the tirade against Ricky Smiley like, I don't think it's cool that you would, you know, besmirchify my name and say that I was out here abusing her, and you know, he don't do that and he don't appreciate it and blah 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 blah, and you a lame for that and all of this. And you know, Ricky Smiley, my age, I'm sure he probably was like, what the fuck is these kids? Why they talk? I ain't saying shit about them. Okay, it got so big that finally Ricky Smiley had to address it. Like, I didn't say anything about them. Okay, and honestly, Ricky Smiley wasn't even the one that did the segment. He just introduced the segment coming, and then whoever does their entertainment gossip is the one who did it, you know. But of course, it's Ricky Smiley's show. So he was like, my daughter knows Reginae. Like, I'm friends with Lil Wayne and Toya. Like, he was like, I wouldn't even say anything bad about her. Like, I didn't even do that. So then he reposted what was said on the show, and it was nothing. It was nothing. You know, it was them basically saying that Reginae was like, nigga, don't even try it. My man ain't never abused me kind of thing. You know, so then she had to come back out and apologize and, you know, say that she got some wrong information and she just went off of like feelings and emotions instead of getting the correct information. And she apologized to her Uncle Ricky Smiley and all of this and all of this. But, you know, all of that brings attention to your relationship. And when people already are feeling like kind of happy that you might be having, you know, trouble in paradise, because misery does like company, you guys. If you're not happy in your relationship, you don't feel like sitting on social media and seeing all these happy motherfuckers. You want to see a miserable one like you. Next thing we know, now these two broke up. Okay? This is where she posted. Oh, I thought I got the information. I didn't. But I'm going to just tell you in layman's terms. So what she said was, she don't even know who to trust right now. You know, it's just so much shit going on. Every time she turn around, it's something, you know, that she needs to be concerned pretty much for her own happiness and all that. And so now we find out that these two have unfollowed each other on social media. Now these two have broken up. Or at least that's what everybody is saying. You know, he even posted some cryptic message like, you know, remember at one time it was exactly what you wanted. Okay. Again, nobody has said exactly that they've broken up, but people are believing that these two have. And I think that that's a shame. You guys are a happy couple. You know, you're young, so yes, you guys still have some learning and things to do about each other and just about relationships and life, period. But, you know, I felt like you let social media tear you guys apart. And unless I am missing some information where there's proof that this boy has done those things to her, you know, I just feel like that's what it is. Now, there are rumors that he has cheated on her and that he's done this and that and the other. You know, I don't know if the rumors are substantiated or not. To me, it just seemed like he was a good kid, you know, and these two were young and in love and enjoyed each other, and that social media tore them apart. And I just was like, and if these two don't end up back together, I would hope that in their next relationships that maybe they would keep their relationship, you know, off of social media from the prying eyes of the public, because it's just too much. Okay. Yeah. You know, social media has given everybody license to believe that their opinion matters. And so, folks can continue to, as long as you continue to give them that, then they are going to continue to be all in your business. You know, and it's too bad because they were a cute couple to me, you guys. And I know for a fact that Toya was happy that she was with him more than she was when she was with the, you know, somebody that's in fucking jail for murder, you know. So I was relieved for Toya as a mama. Like, you know, of course I don't want her to be in a relationship where she getting her ass beat or getting, you know, cheated on and all of that. That's bad too. But what I'm saying is, some of that abuse is never a part of relationships, but like a young relationship, you know, sometimes that shit do happen, cheats and shit, you know, and maybe you can get past it, maybe you can't, but that's all par for the course sometimes for young relationship, young love. You know, everybody's still trying to figure out who they want to be with, what they doing, all of this, you know, until they finally decide to settle their ass down somewhere. And, I feel bad for him. Like, yeah, I wanted it to work for her, but yeah, girl, get off social media, honey, because these women, you know, these biddies out here, honey, they do not want to see folks happy. So hopefully, you know, her mom has told her that, and she will have learned, because she's been through a few relationships publicly now. That next one, girl, if it ain't with this one, or even if it is with this guy, you know what? Turn on the privacy light. Everybody don't need to be in it.
I was at since the second grade. Man, I swear my time is coming because I'm never late.
All right, you guys, next story up. DonLemon, you guys. DonLemon has really been in my top of the blogs recently. And I don't know what to make of it. I'm trying to figure out, is this them trying to get rid of Don Juan? Child, not Don Juan. Child, y'all been on Don Juan's Instagram today? I suggest y'all go over there and check it out. Don Juan and posted his wife, child, Well, I don't know if it's his wife or his girlfriend, but there has been some little rumblings that he's married, and child is, yeah, he's posted his wife. You know, I didn't know who he was with. And yeah, but anyway, y'all, let me get off of that. DonLemon. So yeah, DonLemon, they say that he got this like diva-like behavior and like this harassment and bullying behavior that has gotten to the point where they just can't take it no more. And while I can see Don having diva-like tendencies, I definitely can see that in Don, I am just really surprised to read all these stories about DonLemon and his bad-ass fucking behavior, you know? Now, you got to read the article. It's in Variety, and it's a long article, and it says a whole bunch of stuff that they have been able to kind of document since 2008 when DonLemon went on he was a co-anchor with, what was the lady name? Kyra Phillips. Him and Kyra Phillips were co-anchors on the CNN, whatever their live news show was that they had at the time. And him and Kyra never really get along. They didn't really like each other. Apparently, DonLemon had to be spoken to a number of times from how he made Kyra feel and the things that he was saying and doing. The complaint always was that he was just like a mean ass fucking bully. All right. They say that him and Nancy Grace have had words. Him and Soledad O'Brien have had words that they don't see it for Don. As a matter of fact, I got a quote of Soledad saying that DonLemon has a history of saying idiotic and inaccurate things, so his faux pas sounds pretty on brand for him. So going all the way back to 2008, him and the problems that he was having with Kyra, apparently he was sending Kyra, this is what they said in the investigations that CNN has done, that he was sending Kyra messages like threatening her and saying things, but was sending it from like an unknown number. So they weren't ever sure for sure if it was coming from Don, but she had reported it to her superiors. And then they did an investigation. They found out like he had a burner phone or something, and he was sending her these messages from a flip phone, child. Now, this is all allegedly. They're allegedly saying that he was harassing the girl to the point where it was getting to be a problem. So they ended up pulling him from that show and they gave him a weekend show. Now, DonLemon has said that this never happened and that he was never aware of any investigation and all this. And when you ask Kyra Phillips has decided not to comment on the whole thing. Okay. But like I said, there are other people that also have complained about him, and they have documented that DonLemon was tripping over the years at CNN, right? They're saying that DonLemon has the ability to charm his way out of situations that he's found himself in at CNN, and that Don's whole MO is kind of to schmooze with those in power so that he can befriend them, and then, you know, they kind of give him a pass. They say that he is a habitual name dropper, and that he even has a note, or like back in the day, he used to have like a note that Oprah's man, what the man name is, I want to call him Stefan. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Oprah's boyfriends apparently had wrote him this letter, and they said that he had it taped on his computer for everybody to see it. Like, yeah, I know Oprah, well, this Oprah man, but that's close enough. But yeah, they said that he schmoozes with all the right people, and, you know, they keep him, you know, that are in power, so they keep DonLemon on because the viewers love him. Those that have to work with him, not so much. And so CNN has been aware of these issues with Don and has spoken with him a few times, like, you need to tone the shit down. And Don has continued like his antics, you know, and they've just kind of dealt with it because with DonLemon came great, what is the word? You guys know what I'm talking about. Great, not reviews, but like people loved him. People starting to watch, and he, you know, he got more and more people watching the show. And I mean, at the bottom line is the fucking red line, right? We gonna see how much money we making off of him. And I think that they've done well with DonLemon, I'm sure. You know, DonLemon has now got his own show at night and all of that. So yeah. But of course, as time has gone on, you know, we in this Me Too era and afterwards, where, you know, the shit that you was about back in the day, that shit ain't gonna fly today. You know, you can't continue to act like this and it don't become like a for real problem. So now I think that's why we're starting to hear more and more about the negatives that DonLemon has put out there. You know, his most recent faux pas when he talked about women being out of their prime and all of that and had to be corrected, and now they putting him in formal training so that he can get himself together. You know, I can clearly see that CNN does not want to get rid of DonLemon, not only because of the fact that he has a high viewership, but also because he is a black gay man. Okay, there's so many things that people can come after CNN and be like, oh no, it's retaliation, oh no, it's because he's this, he's that. You know, it's just like they probably feel like they have to delicately step, because you've got all these marginalized groups that's probably gonna come after CNN in defense of Don, you know, and CNN don't want to have to deal with it. So they trying to get Don to get some act right over there. Don is over there cutting the fucking fool, okay? I do feel like that is also part of the reason why they are trying to really push for Gayle King. You guys know they're offering Gayle King some astronomical, $12 million or something to come and anchor the news show there. So I feel like they trying to get this other black in so we can get this nigga out and, you know, deal with that. Like, we get Gayle in and the black people, at least will satisfy still the black quotient. I kind of feel like at the end of the day, that's kind of what CNN is thinking. You know, enough people like Gayle King. She seems to be very professional and good at what she does. So let's bring her in. So I kind of feel like that's why Don is now finding himself kind of on this teeter-totter. Like he can't quite act the fool that he has once acted, you know. But I was just like, yeah, I can see Don having some diva-like behavior. But yeah, it is true that the viewers like Don. I mean, we were so heartbroken when we didn't get to see a drunk Don on the New Year's this last year. But I bet you he can act. I bet you he can act up. I could see it. So you guys let me know what you think. I mean, do you think that they're just coming after this black gay man, you know, CNN trying to wipe the slate clean and get all new staff there? Or do you feel like Don might be over there cutting up? Y'all let me know. But I guess if this continues on, they gonna put Don out to pasture. So Don better get it together, child. And I mean quick.
Came from broken homes and broken dreams to getting paid. Dollar bill, listen close.
Tristan Thompson is now a Los Angeles Laker, you guys. On March 31st, which was the last day of the regular season for the NBA, right before the playoffs, they have signed Tristan Thompson along with, who else? It was somebody else, Shaquille Harrison. Signed those two on for the postseason because they need that strength when they go into the playoffs. I was surprised that they're able to bring on new players like that at playoff time. But I mean, I guess so, you guys. But yeah, he's in LA, and people are saying that him and Chloe are probably going to try to work it out. I was like, girl, I'll tell you that Chloe is, well, I'll tell you, just ain't got the sense of a damn ice cube when it comes to Tristan. At least that's what the rumor is. I mean, she may not be trying to get back together with him. I mean, we know that they have their 2 kids together. That second one they had was not the result of them being together. It was really the result of her wanting to have her children have the same father. And so he fathered that second child, but I don't believe that they were together at the time. At least that's what they would have us believe. But he bought a house in the Hidden Hills area in Los Angeles. Said that he's a couple of miles from Chloe's home. You know, when you read the reports and shit, you know, it make it seem like he lived next door. But yeah, he's a couple of miles away, but still in the Hidden Hills area, you know, because he wants to be close to his kids. That's what his team is saying, that he's trying to be there with his kids. But we have spotted Chloe and Tristan, or at least the Paps have spotted the two of them together recently. So it may just be the fact that he's close in proximity. You know, Chloe might be like, I know this nigga, I already know his bullshit. He right down the street. At least I know he can believe he ain't gonna give me nothing. And maybe, you know, she's just settling down with that idea. But, you know, she probably, I would hope, the way that he done made a fool out of her so many times, that, you know, she would not be going down that path. But stranger things have happened. I mean, the heart wants what it wants, right? You can't help who you fall in love with, child. And out of all of the women that he done been with, he always circled it back to Chloe. So he that definitely is his bottom bitch. If if it ain't anything else. I shouldn't tease. I mean, maybe he's ready to settle it down and do the right thing by Chloe. I mean, I don't see it and I don't believe it, but Anyway, how y'all feeling about him being an LA Laker though? You guys, I'm telling you, the Lakers we be needing all the help we can get. So, I mean, hopefully him and Shaquille will be the necessary additions that the team needs to push them all the way through. But I don't know if they're going to make it all the way to the championship or even the Western Conference final. But we'll see, you guys. But yeah, Tristan, he's an LA Laker now.
This is not a drill. Cause hungry trying to get a meal. I've been in life. Who gonna pay a bill?
And then lastly, you guys, so I got to hand it to you, okay? Cause every now and then, the black people, y'all can get together and say that you canceling somebody, and then y'all can stick to your damn guns, and that motherfucker be canceled. Y'all canceled a nigga so tough on this one that I forgot this Negro existed. That nigga showed up in a damn interview the other day, and I was like, oh, I forgot all about him. Who am I talking about? I am talking about none other than DanielCeasar, okay? Y'all remember when y'all canceled him? I mean, honey, y'all obliterated this one. And it only happens every now and again, but y'all was successful on this one, so I'm gonna give you one of these. Okay. Boy, that Daniel Caesar, his star, the career path for him, the trajectory was right on point, you guys. I mean, we was loving Daniel Caesar. He was this strange looking little black boy who had a beautiful voice, had beautiful music out there. And, we was ready to just hold on to him and push him forward. That song that he had with her, classic, instant classic. I mean, almost on the level, not quite on the level of Lauren and D'Angelo, but kind of put you in that same feel, like it could become that, But let me tell you, this nigga had been fixed his mouth to say back in, what was this, 2018, 2019? Yeah, he been canceled for quite some time. He was definitely canceled before the when did it happen? Was it before the pandemic? Anyway. So there is a social media influencer, Yes Jules. And apparently, Yes Jules had on a t-shirt. Now, he's a white young man. He had on a t-shirt that says, niggas lie a lot. All right? And of course, black people, listen. I don't give a fuck how many people will sit up here and tell me, Roxanne, you cannot say the word nigga and then think that white people not going to say the same thing. And then you want to, be all up in the white person's face for saying it when you say it. And I'm going to continue to tell you guys that is a damn word that only black people can use. I don't give a fuck. You can say whatever you want to say about how the word is wrong. You shouldn't say it. Okay, let us deal with that within the black people. Everybody else need to not say it. The same way gay folks have their words that they use that nobody that's outside of that community should use. The same way that all other races in other groups have their sayings that they say. But if you ain't in that fucking group, then don't say the shit. All right? That's just it for me. Don't come telling me, Roxanne, you say nigga, so everybody should say nigga. No, you cannot. Okay? So when he had that t-shirt on, the black people was upset. Now, instead of DanielCeasar just not saying nothing, because really he could have just not said anything, he quickly came to the defense of Yes Jules and said, why are black people so mean to white people? Okay, why is it that black people cannot take a joke? He don't want to be treated as a black person that can't take a joke. Why is it that black people can say stuff about white people when white people are fine with it, but white people can't say nothing about black people? And so he was caping for real for Yes Jules. And yeah, we ain't like that, because you sitting up here basically supporting this white man saying nigga, and no. And then for you to turn around, double down, and, kind of sitting there with the white people and reprimanding black people, is just sort of like, no. So yeah, we hurried up and the delegation got it together. They put that nigga on the cancel list, and honey, we ain't heard hide nor hair of DanielCeasar since. I'm telling you, I forgot all about him. But recently, Mr. Caesar has reared his ugly head. He was in an interview with Apple Music. And he actually told the interviewer that he made a mistake back then. Okay. And that how he hurt a lot of people. And listen, I don't know if he really truly believes or even understands why that was a problem. But what I do know is that nigga was canceled so hard that, you know, when that bank account got to dwindling down, you know, this nigga was like, I better say something. The nigga down to his last $500. That nigga probably writing his checks was just like, boy, this shit is getting lean, okay? Either he gonna have to go to work some damn where, or he gonna have to go and say sorry. So he decided to say sorry, and just, you know, trying to clarify that he didn't really think much about what he was saying, that he sort of still has some of the same feeling, but he should have worded it differently, and, you know, all of that. And so now he's apologized. I said, he must got an album coming. Somebody probably told him, listen, Daniel, you want this shit to get heard by anybody, okay? Because listen, I mean, the folks like Chloe and they ain't even bought her shit. So, you know, we don't even like you, and here you coming with this. So you better get out there and you better get the kowtowing real quick and tell these people sorry, because who's gonna support that career? You know, the white folks ain't thinking about no damn DanielCeasar. You know, it's gonna be us that buys his music. So you better come correct, nigga. You better clear it up. So yeah, Daniel got out there. He said he wasn't thinking that day. Listen, I'm willing to listen to his music again because I think that he was talented. And I also feel that people make mistakes and people talk out of turn and all of that. I don't think Daniel was reading the room when he said that. It was just like folks didn't want to hear that. I ain't never gonna hear that story. I'm sorry. White folks can't say nigga. You just can't say it. Okay? Just to be on the safe side, don't wear no shirts to say it. Don't say it. Don't do it. And then on DanielCeasar's side, don't be tap dancing and trying to protect these people that say these kind of things about your own damn race. So yeah, child. That's it. Y'all let me know. Y'all willing to forgive DanielCeasar? I mean, I'm going to give the boy another chance. I'm definitely going to listen to the music if he does put anything else out. But are y'all feeling as forgiving as I am? Y'all let me know.
The streets that taught me I'm just trying to get my nigga paid. We came from Section 8 and I knew I
All right, you guys, I do feel better now. I am still stressed, but I mean, you know, this little hour or two that it's been 2 hours, but that I just spent with you guys, I do feel a little bit better. So that's why I love the Roxstars. Y'all bring me up and y'all don't even know it. Okay. But yeah, I'm gonna get on off of here, y'all. We do this every single week. So make sure that you thumbs up the video, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you come back. Until next time, Roxstars. Bye.